going to wrap up the session with a classic panel. And what's interesting about this is we're going to feature all the broadcasters. We're a bit too far back there, but that's okay. And most of them are new to the event. They're not new to their roles, not all of them, but they're new to the event. So with that in mind, it's the final session for having a break. Please give a massive, massive round of applause and appreciation for the broadcasters who are going to join us on the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, the broadcasters. Here we go. Come in. Don't be shy. Out back, none of them wants to sit next to me. They think they're going to get bullied, but it's wherever you would.
Should we go boy, girl, boy, girl?
You're okay. Come on, sit down.
Right.
So it's no secret, looking at the landscape. We are waiting for a couple more for microphones. We showcased the landscape purposefully so we could set the scene. The traditional players in this market are facing a challenging time. There's just no two ways about it. You know, TV spend has a lot more competition, and we talked about this a lot. There's more supply, but the growth is flat, and that's a challenge. Matt, I'm going to start with you. You're one of the new faces on the block. You've come into the TV space. You've seen all the headwinds and the challenges and stuff like that. Any regrets?
Not a one.
Not a one. Okay, so you actually posted on.
Why do we start out with regrets?
Go for it.
No. Why?
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So you actually posted about the event, and you mentioned the 80% stat of linear TV consumption, and you said savvy advertisers are leveraging this reach in tandem with digital. I guess the question is, are you attracting enough savvy advertisers?
Are we attracting enough savvy advertisers?
Yeah, who understand the stats
yeah.
and the reach potential that you guys have in what is a very competitive landscape?
I mean, I guess there's a couple different ways to answer that question. And I would argue that there's probably never enough advertisers on any of our platforms. And that would be the more traditional ones or the newer tech businesses. But I do think that it really depends how you look at the state of broadcast. There's definitively challenges recently on the linear side, but a lot of the investment that we're putting in the market is going into the more digital side of the world, and on that side we're seeing quite a bit of success. So, I mean, when you think about that set of, let's call it 10,000 plus advertisers who are spending with Bell to reach the consumer here in Canada, every single one's on a very different point in their journey with us. And it's been, I think, in my early days, we've just been looking at and trying to understand who's where and why.
Okay, and where are you on that journey? So is the digital growth offsetting the declines you're seeing in your traditional business?
So, I mean, in some buckets, it's more than offsetting, and that would be kind of on our streaming side with with Crave and such. And on other sides, it's not enough. But it's not because that inventory isn't valuable. It's just because I don't think we've merchandised it well enough.
Okay, and then what's the path here? What's the big strategy idea for going back to growth?
Well, I mean, if I gave that away up here,
yeah.
It would, I don't know if I could do that. No, but I think it's really just going back to basics and making sure that the market understands how best to reach a consumer on Bell-owned and operated platforms. And there's a lot of integrations, there's a lot of partnerships, and there's a lot of kind of stuff we're doing on our own.
Okay, we'll come on to the partnerships,
yeah.
And I'll mention the dreaded C word as well as our sort of next question. So, Barb, different boat for you. You're leaving Corus soon.
Yes.
When is that?
October 15th.
Excellent. So you are free to say whatever you like to the audience.
Right. Let it rip.
Let it rip. Okay, where have we fucked it up then? Let's go.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I'm just kidding, but
Yeah,
like when you look
How
at
much time, John?
Yeah. What do you think? You know, we look at the landscape that we're in now, though. Like genuinely, if you could go back and like change a few things, what would you change?
Gosh, that's a big question to try and look in the rearview mirror. I think we need to spend more time looking at the windshield, to get a better sense of what's going on. I think in the Canadian market, there's no question that we've oversteered to digital, and largely at the expense of TV. And I think that we are at a position now where we know that there is real benefit from a brand building standpoint and from a performance standpoint on TV. There is value still there. And then we see all of these streamers enter and foray into an ad-supported environment as well. And I think it just really supports the whole notion that people still enjoy a TV-like experience.
Yeah.
And so I think we're really quick to abandon traditional TV, or maybe there was a lot of perception issues around traditional TV. And I think we probably could have done a better job of marketing the benefits and the value that is still very much there.
Okay, and if you could change one of the things that have occurred in the last 2 or 3 years as you worked perhaps with these guys on stage, what would you have done? What would you have done differently? Do you want me to come back to you with that one?
Well, I mean, I think we all are trying to chart our own course.
Yeah.
I think we probably, if I were to press rewind and do it again, I think we probably should have all come to the table sooner.
Yeah.
In support of the industry.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, there are many instances where we do, support the industry, fund the industry. I think we probably could have done a better job of marketing TV as a platform or radio as a platform, and really made greater efforts as a united front to get in front of clients.
Yeah. Together, you think you guys should have done that together?
I'm supportive of a collective, Canadian TV industry.
Okay.
Justin, I think just to add to that, I think all of us are very well intentioned, and we have been, and I think all of us collaborate and have collaborated in the past, either through, I mean, obviously we sit on boards, we sit on Numeris and all of the industry boards like Think TV, but we've come together, on different platforms with Cinch and Sam, and I think, it was one of the questions that you asked us, and thinking, kind of moving forward, that's absolutely where we need to be. Like this group here, this group represents the Canadian media industry, for the most part. And I think we are all highly motivated to work together to make sure that we can find solutions that are seamless for our advertisers, for our agencies, to do business in a way with us that is so much easier and quick and, measured and reported. So absolutely. So
are you saying now, with all the fresh faces here today, people in new roles and all that sort of stuff, you're saying there's going to be a new era of that dreaded C word, collaboration, by the way, all you filthy minds going in the wrong direction on that?
I'd like to think so.
You think so? So we're going to actually see sort of some real change and everyone working together? And
listen, I'd like to think so. Absolutely.
Give me a tangible on what that would look like. Like what's a practical thing that you guys should be doing together right now?
Listen, I think we've all tried. And certainly jump in, but if I were to look at how we came together and partnered as a Rogers Sports and Media company with Cinch and with Sam, I think those efforts were moving in the right direction. So I am highly motivated with this group to think that we can do things together, and that would be one of them. Like, if we can create a platform, and the agencies and advertisers have talked about it, we all have premium content, we have the best in the business.
Okay.
So if there was a way for us to aggregate all of that into a very simple form, for us to transact, and for agencies and advertisers to transact with our inventory in an easy way, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that would be
one buying platform. Barb, do you like it? Do you want to come in on that?
I'm not sure that a buying platform is going. Respectfully, I would say what we should do is unite to speak to a more global side of what's happening at the whole coast. Really to where a lot of the decisioning desks are happening. The local media suppliers are not even in that consideration set. Yeah. So I think as a collective, we have to put Canada into the mindset of what's happening in Manhattan, what's happening in Chicago, and really fight to support the the local market.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Hisham, where does CBC sit on all this stuff? And I think you and I talk about this quite a lot in the sense that you especially look at the earlier data of how effective telly is, yet where the spend is going. So how do you manage that? We know it's a really powerful medium, but the spend isn't perhaps following. And where does CBC sit on the whole collaborative talk? Are you right in there to work with them, or are you sitting here going, I don't care so much?
Good question. I mean, there is always debates about where CBC Radio Canada sit, actually. So we are the public broadcaster at the end of the day. And to be fair, and I'm responsible for what I will say here, is that we always possibly saw ourselves as, in some capacity, as competition, where we're not supposed to be competition to any one of those guys on my right. I think we should have came to the table a bit faster, should have actually the driving force behind like getting them together and just talking and discussing what's at stake here. How can we protect your jobs and our jobs? How can we protect the agencies? How can we protect the clients, also the Canadian clients and the global clients who are investing in this market? And then how can we protect our industry? So where do we sit? We sit in a place where like it's uncertain. We're not sure about exactly what's going to come next. We sit in a place where I think the world has moved on and we're left behind. We sit in a place where like we are a mid-sized power country who's unable to regulate properly sometimes. And then whenever they regulate the Canadians rather than regulating everyone else. So we sit in a place where like democracy is being questioned every single day. We sit in a place where like we are the news, we are in the news every single day as well. So I know that maybe I'm just going off the question itself, Justin, but truly it's where we sit. We sit in a place where, yes, it's important for us to be commercial. Because if we're not commercial, then we cannot fund the rest of what we are capable and what we should be doing for the Canadian altogether. We're different. We're not looking for growth like everyone else is growing. We're not a privately owned company and on a stock market, but we believe, and I believe personally, that we are a very, very important stakeholder of this industry altogether, of this country altogether. And yes, I agree with all of you guys. And just me and Pat sitting together, I think it sent the right message to everyone. Radio Canada sitting next to TVA is a good message to everyone here.
I wanted to sit next to Matt.
I know, you were trying to, right. I think it's very important to realize what's at stake here. I don't think many of us realize what's at stake. A whole industry and economy is at stake. And I look at Sarah Thompson also sitting on the front row. And this is serious. I mean, maybe 10, 20, 15 years ago, maybe it wasn't the case. Maybe everyone was making enough money then to pay attention to what's happening in the industry and then what are the problems ahead of us. But today, as we stand where we stand today, where I stand personally today, I would say there is a lot at stake. And CBC Radio Canada should do more, and we're trying to do more. And my commitment and our commitment to everyone around the table and to everyone in the public and the audience here and elsewhere, that we're going to do more and we're going to get those guys together and we're going to fight back.
Do you think, yes, no question to this? Oh.
Good job, baby.
I knew you'd bring the heat. Well done. Just yes, no question. Do you think if the Canadian media market doesn't work together, finds some common ground, growth will just not happen? Yes, no?
I would give it 5 years.
You're going to survive.
That was not even, okay.
You're going to survive.
I'm going to survive, you mean?
You have to go yes or no.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Just.
Okay, so for growth to occur in the market amongst you guys, do you think it's essential that you find some common ground to work together?
Absolutely.
Whether it's tech, absolutely. Okay. Patrick, let's have a look at the French market. I'm always staggered at the discrepancies, right? And you get a nice, easy question. Do you feel in your market that advertisers have fled linear before audiences have?
Totally.
Why is that happening? Because you have big tentpole events, shows, attracting huge concurrent viewers, and yet you're struggling to sell that. Is that just you guys doing a bad job selling it? Or are advertisers just not convinced? What's the problem there?
Maybe I should retire on October 15.
Is it October 15th? You've still got a couple of weeks left.
No, but the question is, to answer that question, we're trying to figure what's not like the new normal in the French market, and it would certainly apply for Matt and Hisham as well, because it's Quebec on its own. It's, as you guys know, we have our own star power, we have our own ecosystem. We still drive huge ratings. So to answer that question, really, we don't know. There's a huge gap between what's being booked out of the Montreal offices compared to what's being booked in the Toronto offices. It's like there's a 10 points gap. And I think that we're still driving amazing ratings. Like few examples, like Masked Singer is the #1 show in Canada, French speaking. Like of all shows, it's the #1 show. Between SRC and TVA, the 7 p.m. slot is driving 1.82 million viewers out of a 6.5 million population. So there's no problem in Quebec with linear.
Do you make money out of that show?
Sorry?
Do you make money out of that show?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Masked Singer, yes, we do.
Okay.
But we don't make money off any conventional networks. We all lose money.
Yeah.
Because the price of, content is really expensive. More and more, there's I think Guy demonstrated this morning, there's lower income and higher cost production. So therefore, at the end of the day, to your point, 5 years, we're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not because we're fortunate to be part of a vertically integrated company such as Québecor, and so is Janice and Matt, because otherwise media would be in real trouble. We would be in real trouble. We understand we have to pivot our strategy, but we have more to lose in the short term given our amazing rating results that we get than anyone.
Yeah. So what is the solution to that? Because I know that you're part of the content strategy at Québecor and the networks and stuff. Is that less investment, like Guy was suggesting, in content? Will you have less programming during the day? What's the...
No, I think we need to double down on investment.
So you're reinvesting?
Sorry?
So you're reinvesting?
We're trying to invest, but we're challenging local producers to lower their costs.
Okay.
We don't have fun these days, because you know what, a show that we're like, Masked Singer, for instance.
Yeah.
It's probably $700,000 by the hour. We're not making $700,000 by the hour in revenue. We're not. We're losing money. It's purposely we decide we lose money on the Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening.
Yeah.
But we make money on Salut Bonjour and other shows. But no, content is king still.
Yeah. In the UK and in other markets, some of those tentpole programs actually are loss-making, but where they make the money is that the advertisers advertise then during the day is where you make your coin. But it's not working like that for you at Québecor.
Well, it's again, is TV as dominant or linear as dominant as it used to be in the past? No.
Okay.
Is it declining? Yes, 2-3% yearly. But the problem is that the revenues have declined like 25%.
Yeah. The declines in revenue
are greater than the viewerships.
Is that consistent of all your businesses?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. So how do you view where does the French-Canadian lot sit with the whole collaborative play across the entire country? Are you keen to work with everybody here? Are you keen to explore ideas? Give me a practical sort of thing that you would like to do.
Set up a meeting first. I think we need to agree on a
We're
date.
at that stage of just setting a meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, Canadians work slowly, don't they? Yeah.
So we have a date in the upcoming weeks, all together.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss. I think we need to start, again, as to Janice's point, we are already collaborating, we're working together. We're at the same boards. We do stuff with Rogers. We're buying NHL rights from them. But we need to expand that partnership.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of things at play here. And while I agree, there's all sorts of cultural and nationalistic reasons to support Canadian broadcasters, 1,000%. And as an adopted Canadian, I would love there to continue to be that identity and that culture. I do think you mentioned something, and having sat on both sides of the fence, if we want to call it that, the way in which teams engage with advertisers, as you said, I think you qualified it as, are you being outsold? I think it's very different. Especially when you think about the past, and I don't want to spend any time on the past, but I think there's a lot that the broadcasters can learn around client partnership and engagement. We heard that earlier, I think, with one of your speakers talking about Google in particular, and building, an agenda and studies and developing insights to prove something. I think the onus is back on us again to adapt in the way in which we work and the way in which we engage. And it's clear the audiences are still there. If anything, like if you look at the number of impressions Bell's firing today versus just a couple of years ago, it's more. It's just in different channels.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say, yes, we could all work together, and I'm certain there will be more partnership in the future.
Yeah.
But I do think we also need to learn and evolve our engagement models.
What do you bring from your sort of digital past then to this new role where, like you say, you can get closer to clients, closer to buyers? Like I know you've made a big change.
How about extreme optimism?
I like extreme optimism. That's what you're bringing on a daily basis. I like that. But like, you actually did make a major change. Actually, a couple of advertisers told me about it. The cancellation, 7-day cancellation. Has that made a major impact that you'd like to see?
Yeah, 100%. So I think in aligning on better models to partner with advertisers, we got to look at all the kind of roadblocks we've thrown up within our kind of owned and operated environments that get in the way. And terms, when they're not consistent across channels, can make things more complicated in the planning process. So by aligning terms and out-of-home with digital or TV, it only makes things more simple. And I think that's just one of a multitude of areas that we all just need to kind of take a look at and reassess.
Okay, let's talk about the YouTube challenge. You guys are all flirting with it, putting content on YouTube. Can you make money out of it? What's the balance there? Because the other side of it is obviously that they're going after TV budgets too. Lower CPMs are probably a bit of a challenge for you guys. What's the balance? Who wants to take? Who's doing well with the YouTube conundrum, and who isn't? Who wants to take that on?
We are not on YouTube.
You put no content on
Nope.
YouTube. Do you plan to?
No, not at this point.
Okay.
Because we drive amazing ratings. So
Yeah.
why would we spill our revenues?
So I can jump in too. I mean,
It's audience extension, by the way, is typically what it's
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
what it's being
Yeah.
used for.
sure.
For sure.
It's a challenge to make money from, is from what I understand, talking to other broadcasters around the
It
world.
is.
But Janice, are you doing it for audience extension?
Yeah,
You doing
so
it
listen, I think, so when it comes to YouTube, I think it's twofold for us. It's hard to monetize. I mean, we don't control it. There's a lot of technical limitations within it. But from a marketing perspective, we do have some of our content, as most of us do, as audience extensions within the YouTube environment. What I will say is we are hypersensitive about the content that we do put on YouTube, because we know that those audiences will come to Rogers Sports and Media to watch sports for specific events. So we're very thoughtful in our strategy in terms of what we put on YouTube, but we recognize also that it is a strategy for marketing.
Yeah. Barb?
Yeah, I mean, we have for a long time at Corus just felt putting our content in more places was a good
Yeah.
strategy. And certainly there are pockets on YouTube. News is a perfect example where we've seen great performance on YouTube. And the thing is that, as Janice said, it's about discoverability. A younger demo is finding this great content that is available on our brands, and it's streaming quality content. And so I think it serves sort of two purposes.
So can you make money from it?
It's not good. It's not a trade-off for what we've seen in the from a linear standpoint or from our own digital assets.
Yeah.
It's not really the primary purpose.
It's
I
audience
would say.
extensions.
Yeah.
It's audience
Yeah.
extension. Ultimately, though, I think as we talk about YouTube and the TV-like experience, I think what we have to remember is there are, again, so many people chasing a TV-like experience, and it just demonstrates that younger audiences too still enjoy good old TV-like experiences, only we call them video now.
Is YouTube TV for you? Yes or no?
Well, I mean, it depends how much, certain types of content, yes. I mean, and I think the jury's not out.
Dodging? You're saying no?
Dodging.
Well, listen, I think YouTube is part of a larger play that we can all probably get behind.
Yeah.
And they've been fantastic partners, and if Andrew's in the room, thank you. But, I think Bell has partnerships with Google and YouTube, the media arm. We have partnerships as well. But I do think that doesn't in any way give us we still need to invest in owned and operated.
Yeah.
And, so standing up data centers that are sovereign to Canada or building out a Canadian streamer or whatever it might be is still very much part of the larger strategy. So sure, short-term audience extension, great.
Okay. Is it TV, Janice? Yes or no?
No.
No. I know how you feel about it, Patrick.
Not for now.
For now, YouTube is not telly for you. Hisham, I'm going to ask you about the YouTube.
No, let me answer that.
Okay.
I would love to answer that, and I will not answer with a yes or no. I will answer and this is what I told my team this morning. For me, it's not curated, it doesn't follow a schedule, it's not regulated. We are all curated, we're all regulated, and we're all scheduled, run on schedule.
Okay.
So, and this is the experience you get in TV, right? So, no,
Fair
I
enough.
don't think it's a TV.
What about with CTV, with CBC? Are you working with YouTube for audience extension? But also, what about working with streamers? Like one thing that is remarkable about the Canadian market is a lot of other markets have brought the streamers in with the broadcasters to paint that growth story. They are getting viewership, they're moving into the ads game. Do you put your content on the streamers? Could you see yourself doing a TF1, Netflix sort of thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as a public broadcaster, our job is to reach Canadian wherever Canadians decide to actually consume media. So we will be in no position actually just to decide on behalf of the Canadian where they would like to consume our content. So yes, we are on YouTube, we are on Netflix, through distribution. We are everywhere that Canadian would like to consume us. And then yes, it's an extension. It's beyond extension. It's part of the fabric.
Yep.
Right? So maybe they are not YouTube is not regulated, and others possibly the way that we are regulated. But this doesn't change the fact that they are part of the Canadian fabric, and that there is Canadian content actually, not only by us, by everyone else actually, and by influencers and creators sitting there, and people are consuming it. So we cannot hide behind our finger, assuming that this is not happening. It's happening, and we'll have to accept it. Yeah. But at the same time, we believe that there is two type of citizens under regulation today. So I'll stop here.
Couldn't agree more.
Do you, all of you here, would you like to see the, let's say the premium end of the streamers who are now offering ad services within Numeris and within, say, even Think TV? Would you like to see them part of that? Barb?
Yes.
Sure.
Are you courting them? Are you making eyes at them?
Absolutely. You know what? I do think certainly Catherine at Think TV and Alicia and team at Numeris are doing a great job of trying to woo streamers into that ecosystem.
We saw Amazon this morning.
Yeah. But I also think the marketers play a role, and Andrea Hunt at ACA and Judy Davey are doing also great work in terms of the marketers can vote with their pocketbooks. It's one thing for Numeris to think that they can influence this. The marketers in the room can say, we're not spending more money on Meta until you are going to embark on a proper measurement.
Yeah, but they've never done that, let's be honest.
No, they've never done it.
Never done that. So is that argument lost? Do we have to move to play a different game, like Matt was saying? Because they're not sold on that, because the spend goes in one direction.
Right.
Saying that, I'm going to out a few agency people here and buyers. They want more excuses to not spend on Meta, to be honest. Are we giving them enough reasons to do it? Like Matt, for example, can we work with client KPIs and sell on outcomes? Is this the way that you're going?
I think I sent an email on that subject on Tuesday.
Who to? To me?
Not to you,
oh,
no.
Okay.
So you might be, how'd you know? Yeah. Listen, I think there's two sides of the coin. I think there's definitely, I'm not good at forcing people to do things, but I do think if we build the path and we show them the way, and we make it as easy to get in front of an audience on our side of the room, we'll start to win.
Yeah, and Janice, like more money is going into the performance bucket, whether you like it or not. It's just happening, right? And it's the bucket that TV has traditionally not played that well in. Can we do better and go after that money? And I know in lots of other markets, they're putting a value on it, and they're going after it with tools, with outcomes and stuff. Is that part of the Rogers plan too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when it's not lost on anybody in this room, and it's not net new news that, when you look at the traditional linear side of the business and you look at radio, at the end of the day, these are still massively powerful platforms. And they still drive outcomes that our marketers are looking for. They drive effectiveness. And so, as part of the Rogers Sports and Media strategy, I mean, like everybody, we are literally following our audiences where they are. Absolutely. So we're doing it across all of our platforms. And when you think about performance outcomes and you think about how we measure, I mean, those are definitely part of the strategy moving forward on how we can, offer different things and come to the table and literally work with partners in a very different way to serve up different outcomes and responses at the end. And
just very quickly, is that together? Is that a Numeris job? Do you want more from Numeris so they're not just looking at audiences, they're looking at these outcomes and stuff? Whose role is it to do that?
I think it's on both of us. I mean, you know what? We all sit on the Numeris board. And I think, again, like Barb said, Alicia and team have done a fantastic job. We've got a very new focus. We've got a new mandate. It feels fresh. We're going in the right direction. They're asking a lot of the right questions, partnering with a lot of third-party services to do the right thing. So I think it's incumbent upon both of us. And all these voices sit at that table. And so we will make sure, as we move forward with the industries like Think TV and with Comb and all of the different industries that support the business, I think it's something that we need to do together.
Okay, be watching this space. Let's talk about cost. It's a bugbear for you, Patrick. I know that you moved to a CPM model to support that. How's that playing out, right? Your competitors are cheaper, aren't they?
Yeah, TV,
more efficient, whatever
average.
That means. How are you maintaining your pricing power, like charging what it costs to advertise on that, and also keeping your advertisers happy and keeping the door going?
We've just shifted from 25/54 to 18 plus.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing more money?
We're not seeing more money.
Oh.
We're not seeing more money, but we're in a position to demonstrate that the TV is not expensive. CPM-wise, it's a $450 average CPM compared to any other media. I mean, we're by far, except for out of home, probably the cheapest of all.
Do you think when you looked at the guideline data, you could see the digital bucket growing and then linear. What about if you did more to put the linear into the digital bucket? Digitize it. Is that part of your roadmap?
The intent. It's clearly the intent. I mean, we are shifting or pivoting our strategy to transform some of our linear inventory to digital in order to capture that dollar, because there's more money. Like the linear bucket 6 years from now in Quebec was $600 million.
Okay.
It's the projection this year is 425, so there's more than $100 million that is gone to other buckets, other segments, and the going forward projection is another $100 million. So therefore, there's no other option to shift.
Is that projection moving into a digital bucket?
Yes.
Or is it leaving the market altogether?
No, it's like the digital bucket in Quebec is twice the size the linear bucket, so therefore there's no option.
There's no option. Hisham, how does TV maintain its pricing power, right? It's measured with humans. Someone watches it. Content is expensive. It's Canadian-led. It's not cheap, right?
Who said so? You said so.
I said so, yeah. Well, maybe it is cheap. Maybe it is cheap. But how do you maintain your pricing in this day and age when there's, Matt put it, unlimited impressions out in the market? You are competing with that.
Look, man, I'm not an economist, and I'm not claiming to be an economist, but everything has value. And then some values cannot be quantified, as simple as that. So we can sit here and debate all night long. I mean, if TV is expensive or not expensive, at the end of the day, performance doesn't reach heart. TV reach heart. So again, maybe a bit more philosophical, but this is what it is. Today, this is what we do. This is what they represent around the table. So what, again, if we will go into the path of performance versus brand, we're going to lose, right? So when, again, I don't want to say stuff that I don't want to say, but we have to be very, very careful about the weight between brand campaigns and tactics and performance campaigns. It's going to be, hopefully it's not too late, by the way. Performance is important. And then we all rally behind it, and I was part of an agency, a couple of agencies holding co, and we rallied behind performance. But it should not be at the expense of building brands and getting brands closer to consumer. Because we're not buying every single day. We're buying only 50% of the day. The remaining 50% is we're sitting and consuming media because we like to consume media, is because we like to consume content. So no, TV is not expensive.
No. But some people argue that if, you know, if someone's client's coming in and saying their key KPI is this, and you're trying to sell them something else, it ain't gonna work, right? They're after, you know, it's like going to a car dealership. You know, you're after an Aston Martin and they're trying to shift you an F-150. They're not gonna like it. So don't you think we have to do more to go after where the big money is, rather than tell clients off that they're getting it wrong? Absolutely.
I mean, the business is being digitized more and more, which will allow actually more metrics just to quantify the outcome, right? And then how can we base our business on outcome based rather than only being brand all the way? So, but it's important. Just like there is something about top of mind ad awareness and unprompted ad awareness, and then all that experience, and there is what we can do actually just to get closer. But maybe, even with connected TV, we don't want to be that closer. We don't want to be Google and Amazon at the end of the day, and then just goes to the bucket of like product that come from, not to say a country, but I'm not all day just buying stuff for my kids, right? So on Amazon, I'm just doing other stuff as well. And then, I would say connected TV will have to do better. We'll have to just measure a better performance without being led actually to the funnel, actually, because and I'm not an economist and I'm not a PhD scientist as well, but can someone explain to me in the audience attribution without having a PhD? No. So I figured. So until that moment where it's going to be as simple as a half-smart person like me to understand how attribution works, performance doesn't work.
So I would say Hisham's extremely smart, not a half-smart person. But I do think to talk about price and expensive or cheap without the attribution component is it's nonsensical, let's just call it. And I think we've seen enough data from your previous speakers to prove that there's a lot of value. And in a world where advertisers might be fleeing, maybe the smart ones will turn around and find more value because there'll be less competition. I'm not sure. But I do think it's incumbent on us to have the conversations with clients and partners around what that value is and better articulate it. Because again, buying just on price alone, you end up, you become a drop shipper or something, right? Like it doesn't really work well for your brand, doesn't work well for us, doesn't work well for anybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just as a wrap up, do you want to close out this panel?
I do. And
Do it.
This was fabulous, everybody. Listen, on behalf of everybody up here, I just wanted to take a few minutes to acknowledge Barb Mckergow. And sorry, I'm going to stand up. It would absolutely. Wow. And what I would like to say to you, Barb, is thank you so much for being the incredible female force that you have been in this industry for 30 plus years. You have carved an incredible path. And everyone, if not in this room, beyond this room, has been impacted by you, your kindness, your leadership, the fact that you have mentored more than enough people in this room, me included, and as a peer, my friend, we can all learn, and everyone can learn in this room how to work together and support each other, because you absolutely exemplify what it means to lift each other up. And as women in this industry, girl, you have been right beside my side, and thank you. I just want to say you're fabulous. We wish you, and thank you, wish you all the best, my friend, on wherever this change transition is going to take you.
Thank
but
you.
We are better because of you. And thank you for letting me do that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Thank you.
That's the broadcaster panel.
Justin.
What a great way to finish it off. It's a break for 20, 25 minutes. We'll see you back here again. Thank you very much.